Good morning, YouTubers. T-Square with T-Square Talk. Hope everybody's having a great morning. Got a great video for you guys today. Today, I want to talk about the rumors that are going around about coin shops not buying silver. And to a certain point, it's not just rumors, just people are talking about it. Some people saying this is BS. Some people saying that it's not right and this and that. And here's the deal. There's a lot of different reasons why we are seeing some coin shops refuse to buy right now. We are going to talk about some of this going on. I did pull up a Reddit group basically that was talking about this. And at first, I was like, okay, some places are gonna, some places aren't gonna, but a lot of good information in here. This is a picture of the sign. It said temporary, we are not buying any gold and silver bullion. We apologize for any inconvenience. And I can tell you right off the bat, I told a friend of mine this actually just yesterday, that, it does seem annoying at first. If you need money and you've bought in gold and silver and all of a sudden you can't get rid of it, does that put you in a hard spot? Yes, it does. I believe it will put you in a better spot later, because most of the time I see people cashing out for stuff that they could probably make do without. But in some cases, I do understand people need to use their money, and it is real money when you think about it. Gold and silver, it was meant to be money by our founding fathers, and that's what it is. It is money. So when I hear people say it sucks when they can't cash it in or when they need money and they can't use it, I understand that. And you would be absolutely correct in saying that. However, there's a lot of different things right now that are happening that's making this the case. So we're going to talk a little bit about that today. I read you guys a sign. They said they have liquidity issues. Won't buy any bullion, but oddly enough, they were still selling silver over spot. Generic 1 ounce rounds for $4.10 over spot. So here's the deal. We're going to talk about this because, yes, I totally understand where this is coming from. 410 might be a little extreme for a premium, especially if you're not buying any, because I am convinced that if you were buying at spot and you're selling for $3 over spot, you might say even $2 over spot maybe. A lot of people don't understand. You are tying up a good amount of money for such a small profit margin. Think about what $4 over $120 is. You're talking maybe 3%. To risk $100 for the potential of making $103, or I should say $120 to make $103, you got to understand that's kind of risking a little bit. Now, some of y'all are going to say it's not risking if you buy silver, if you buy gold. That is true to a certain point. However, you have to understand when the prices are as volatile as they are right now, it kind of is risking. I mean, if you bought yesterday off someone at spot and it dropped by $15, that's pretty devastating because people aren't going to pay you $15 over spot. So there are dealers out there that don't want to take any chances right now because it is a risky business. And some companies, some coin shops are just closing down. They don't want to deal with this. They realize they have a nice inventory for themselves. And I'll be honest, having gold and silver is very low maintenance, low stress. If you've seen your precious metal stat go up in value recently, it really makes you think, do I want to invest in other stuff? So we're going to talk about that. If you enjoyed today's video, help me out real quick by just hitting that subscribe button if you're new to the channel. Hit that thumbs up button. Help me out. Leave me a comment. You can let me know your thoughts. I'm a little slow getting back on comments because I've been super busy. I can't wait till today. I'm probably going to sleep in half my day. I am so exhausted from the busy week that I had. With that being said, let's jump in and then we will get into that coin shop deal. So before we even get started, let's take a quick look at some of the prices. We got silver right now at $109.75. I want you to think about that. We hit $122 yesterday. We were up to 118 I say yesterday. I should have said we were up to $122 the day before yesterday. Yesterday, we got up to 118. And yes, we did get crushed to a certain point. Is it something I'm worried about? Not at all. When you see this kind of selling take place in a matter of like 10, 15 minutes, that is obscene. I want you to think about this. Silver got up to $122 roughly right here. And literally in a short time, it crashed all the way down to 106. That's not the first time we've seen this. If I zoom back out just a little bit, you can see the extreme volatility that is taking place. The other day, we actually seen silver get up to 118 and then come all the way down to 101. I want you to think about that for a minute. 101 from 118. And a lot of people are talking about these extreme volatile moves, which really makes it hard. It's a shakeout thing that they're doing, I believe, designed to shake out the weak hands, the hands that are buying on margin. They're gambling money, betting that silver is going to keep going up, and they're not happy with the profits that they are getting off of what they have invested in it. So some of these people are actually margining more ounces. And when you see big swings like this, a 15% swing is huge. I want you to think about that for a minute. There's some people that set their sells, their short sells, to cover their losses. Essentially, if you lose 10, 20%. So when you lose 15% in one day, there's a lot of stops in place to stop the loss. And so we see it essentially plunging in price. As it comes down, then those stops kick in and boom, all of a sudden we're even lower. And some people are preying on this, essentially. They are trying to drive the market down a little bit. And as the market falls some because of them, all of a sudden the stop losses start kicking in. And you see it go down even further. And boom, before you know it, we've taken a huge hit on silver. So personally, I'm not worried about this. I recognize silver as a real investment, a sound investment. Some people will say it's not an investment because it's just a wealth preservation tool. And to a certain point, you can call it whatever you want. I look at it as an investment because I'm investing my money in it. I'm not only buying it just to preserve my wealth. I am buying it because I believe this asset is heavily manipulated. It's heavily undervalued, and these paper shorts are eventually going to have to pay for these shorts that they've created and this mass short position on silver. Eventually it's got to come due. And so we'll see what happens. But I know some people do freak out when they see huge drops. Even in gold, we saw a really big drop yesterday. We were up to 500, and this shows 549. When I looked, I seen one candle that actually showed me at 5,550. So I'm going to say 550. Everybody knows there's 5,000 in front of it, but let's just say 550. So you're talking 550, and then all of a sudden it plunges all the way down to 5,122 or 122. I mean, that is astronomical to see in gold, but we're seeing bigger and bigger swings. And the big question is, where do you put your money right now? What can you put your money that doesn't have either, what's the term I'm looking for? Solid value, I guess you could say, or decent returns, or counterparty risk, that type of stuff. You know, I want certain things in my investment. That's why I like gold and silver. I like other things, but gold and silver right now is doing very well. So a lot of us are looking at it. Looking at Bitcoin, this blew my mind. When I pulled up the Bitcoin thing, I was thinking maybe, 85, maybe we'd be down a little bit. I want you to think about this. It's down 2.5%, it says, just today. However, when we made the video yesterday, this was up to 86 or 87. Let me pull it out 5 days so you can really see what the 5-day drop was. We were at 90K. Now we're down $7,500 in a very short time. And it's not like this is just happening now. I mean, in just the past month, down 5.5%. In just the past 6 months, down 30%. Over the course of the last year, down 21, 22%. Now, here's the thing. To me, it seems like it's escalating. We're seeing it come down, and all of a sudden we see a little pop to convince people to put more money in, and then we see it come down, and we see it come down even lower. Who knows how low this can go? I would not be surprised to see us hit that $75,000 level again. We're not super far off. One really bad day, and it could tank. And it was kind of interesting because right off the bat, I wanted to see, because even silver did take a hit recently, down 4.5% on this right here. Taking a look, we got gold at 36 trillion. We got silver, though, at 6.1 trillion. Nvidia, Google, Apple, Microsoft, and then I was like, wait a minute, Amazon? Where the heck did Bitcoin go? So I start scrolling down, and then I was like, Meta? No, maybe it's the next one. Oh, TSMC must have passed it up, so it's got to be the next one. Saudi Americorps? Nope, that's number 10. Damn, Bitcoin ain't even in the top 10 anymore. And there it is, 11th spot now, down 6.25%. So I know someone gave me a lot of heat the other day about how every time I mention Bitcoin, it just shows my ignorance. I'm sorry. My ignorance is telling me that Bitcoin is coming down at a faster rate. And you can see that because over the last year, it only lost 22%. But in the last 6 months, it lost 30%. So I'm seeing it kind of escalating. So that does worry me. And a lot of that does stem between the dollar, the DXY index coming down to even lower. Now we're at 96.57 currently. Do I think we could see the DXY take another big hit? It's a possibility, but there's a lot going on. Obviously, we had the Fed meeting recently. We also have a new Fed chair going to be announced pretty soon. We have a lot of talks about possibly auditing the Fed. A lot of stuff going on that is scaring people and making them want to get into other assets besides just holding dollars in their bank account. I had a friend of mine ask me yesterday, do you think I should still sell my house? I said, there's no for sure way to say that. With inflation, it's going to drive prices of everything up higher, I believe. However, if you are going to sell your house, I would definitely have a plan on what you're going to do with that money. Doesn't necessarily mean precious metals. There's other investments out there, but I would definitely have a plan for it. U.S. debt continuing to fall at 38 trillion, 671 billion. And current gold-silver ratio down all the way to 47.28, up a little bit off of its recent low of 46. We'll see how that plays out. And now comes the actual conversation that I wanted to talk about today, because this, right off when I see stuff like this, if you are a buyer, if you've ever sold some precious metals, maybe you've flipped some, you've bought in a little bit, you've flipped a little bit, who knows? You have to understand that precious metals are getting more expensive. If someone owns a coin shop, they were probably buying at a really, really low number. A low number. They probably were buying when it was, 5, maybe even 6. I've seen over 6 ounces of silver for $100. I've almost seen 7. I guess everybody's seen lower if you count during cough when it got down to $11, but you couldn't find any for $11 at that point. I have said 6 or 7 many of times, because I've seen that for a long period of time. At $15 silver, essentially you're talking, and someone might say, well, there's spot and the premiums if you're not counting the premiums. So here's the thing, I've actually seen silver selling at spot prices during the holidays when silver was $15. And a lot of people that have been stacking for a long time has seen that too. So when we say 6 or 7 ounces for 100, we've seen that. We had plenty of time to buy it at that time. However, some people here are new. And now anybody that's been stacking for a while, they understand it's getting expensive. It's getting more and more expensive to stack. And coin shops, they can't stomach it. So what can coin shops do? As we scroll through this, we will be reading some of the comments. I might skip a couple comments, but I think it's important that we read the comments because people have to understand what is going on with the refineries. and why coin shops are not buying right now, because they think it's just too volatile and they don't want to risk their money for a short-term drop and then have to essentially sell. Now, when I see $4 over spot, my first thought is that might be a little greedy. With silver at an all-time high and you're asking $4 over spot, that does sound greedy. But what people have to understand is, if you were selling right now, someone walked into your shop and silver's sitting at 110 when it was just 122 earlier yesterday, what does that mean? A $12 hit? They might have bought some stuff at those high prices and now they're stuck. But when you see moves like this, you have opportunity. If you're asking for $4 over spot, you can sell your inventory and then turn around and buy more inventory, and you can catch the dips and play that game like that out. Taking a quick look to read some of these comments. I know someone said, we're going to get into some more of the meat and potatoes here in just a second. Good, because I'm not selling. Good answer. If you're not selling, it doesn't really matter what they're buying for, what they're not buying, what they're selling. They are closing because they have no cash to pay for the silver and gold. They take precious metals. They can sell to the refineries, and the refineries are backed up. Many local coin shops will not survive this because the refineries backlog means local coin shops has a wait of 2 or 3 weeks for payments. No cash means that they have to close their doors or only sell what they have already on hand. Many larger dealers might have enough cash or credit on hand to buy precious metals, but for the average local coin shop, unless they are also selling close to what they are buying it for, then they are screwed. And someone said, this is how is this not understood as a fundamental for all precious metals followers? Obviously, they didn't watch the fundamentals videos. Needless to say, we're not going to get into that too much. But here's the thing. People got to understand. Right now, with refineries having a 2 or 3 week wait on payment, I want you to think about what that means for a minute. Picture that you have a business. And yes, you are able to buy silver off of customers, but you buy with the intent that if you buy too much, you can just sell it to the refineries. Not everybody is coming into their local coin shop and paying $4 or $5 over spot. In fact, I can tell you, even myself, I have not been buying much silver lately. Why? Because I'm willing to just sit back and wait. A lot of us have been stacking for a while. We're not scared about what's going on, but we can wait. I mean, if silver goes to $1,000 an ounce, hypothetically, we've already got some. If silver pulls back, great. That's a buying opportunity. If silver doesn't really matter what silver does. But some of these people, you got to understand, they are not flush with millions of dollars in cash. They can just start buying everybody's stuff. There's a lot of weak hands out there that are selling. The refineries will pay. They are backlogged right now. They bought a lot of stuff. They've tied up a lot of money. Now they're telling people you can't lock in your metals. When we process it, that's when you'll get paid. And you'll get paid at what the price is that day. So if the price tanks like it did yesterday, you have to understand. I mean, you might have sold it at, you might have sent it in at $122, and they decide to open their package when it falls to 110. You're getting paid 110. And they're going to close you out. They're going to send you your money, and boom, that's it. So you're taking a certain amount of risk with this extreme volatility. So a lot of people don't even want to sell to the refineries right now. They figure, you know what, I'll just hold it, or I'll just stop buying. If I sell a certain amount at $4 over spot, I will try to buy it back off of someone that's trying to sell. Because there are people out there that's selling. But here's the thing. Some people out there are selling their whole collection. I actually know one guy that he sold his entire collection. He has no silver. And he doesn't think that's anything to worry about. We got a government shutdown coming, possibly the end of this month. And he ain't worried about it. He's like, nah, I ain't sweating it. So you got to understand what's going on. The price has gone up so much. Coin shops don't have a whole lot of capital to be buying. So, yeah, they got to say that. $4 over spot when not buying is a pretty, I don't want to say that word on here, a pretty bad move, in my opinion. Someone said, that's what I thought, seeing how they make their points in their profits and margins. They can buy and sell and still make money with their spread. Here's the problem that person doesn't understand. Not everybody is buying. We are seeing buying slow down. I have a friend that he does this for a living, and he is saying that people are buying, and I don't doubt that some people are buying, but less people are buying right now. Smart money is not afraid to sit back and watch and wait. If it's a brick and mortar store, they still have rent, they still have bills, and for their location, $4 over spot in this market is reasonable. I don't think most people realize how much rent has increased for businesses in the past 6 years. I've always said, I've had a few people say, why don't you open a coin store? You should consider doing that. I said, why? I've got rent, I've got Uncle Sam, I've got all these regulations. There's a lot of issues with having a coin store, and quite frankly, it's not worth it. It's just not worth it. You don't really make that much money off of it for the amount that you're risking. I mean, it's a small profit for a lot of risk. And if some crazy thing happens like it did in 2011, where the price of silver went from $50 to $35 in just one day, what do you think that would do today? To put that in perspective, a $50 drop to $35 would be an equivalent to seeing $110 silver today and then seeing it drop $31, $32. If silver all of a sudden was sitting at 170, 180, people would be devastated. I mean, yeah, I know some of y'all would back up the truck, but even at 85, 80, 75, I mean, how much could you really buy? The average person that stacks is not made of money. They have limits to how much they can buy. And here's the thing. We don't need one powerful stacker buying. What we need to happen is just everybody just buys a little bit. And the price naturally will keep going up. And that's actually what's happening. It's not happening as much here in the United States, but we're seeing it happen in a lot of other countries where people are just buying what they can. So when you see that, you got to understand, you got to understand what's actually going on. What are you talking about? We have dips, sure, but silver trajectory has been up. Now it's up, not sideways and not down. $4 is BS. $1 or $2 is normal. I wouldn't say that. And if you're paying 10 to buy back, it's ridiculous. So here's the thing, no one's buying back for 10. If they were willing to sell it cheap, I'm sure they would still be buying. But some people don't want to insult their customers. I want you to think about that. I heard one guy say that one day. He's like, I would feel bad if all of a sudden someone bought all this silver off me at 120, the price dipped, they come back in, what I could sell it for. That's stressful. To have to tell someone that, I can buy it back off you, but I can only pay you $80, $70, whatever the case may be. Who knows how low it can go? That does get a little bit worrisome for some people. They don't like to be the bad guy. But here's the thing. When someone says $4 is BS, let's take a look real quick. Precious metals, bullion, silver for sale. Let's just come here. Let's just pick a site real quick. I'm going to pick the first one. AppMax pays a lot of money for Google, so they get to be on top all the time. Let's see. We're going to go with silver rounds because I like the cheapest stuff. What do you think for a minute? Look up here. This is what they deem the spot price. They say the spot price right now is $111.41. Okay. Okay, so it's roughly 38 cents difference. Continuing on, though, right now, looking at that spot right there. And here's the thing, I hate seeing this because it says $121.40, but underneath they put as low as, which is not what the average person is going to buy maybe at best 10, 15, maybe 20. Maybe they'll get to 20, but let's just say they're only buying 10 of them. 10 of them right now is going to cost you $122.40 each. Think about that. $122. That's an $11 over spot. So when someone says they're asking $4 over spot and they think $4 is ridiculous, does not really understand what's going on in the precious metals market. There is right now high premiums on precious metals, and a lot of that stems because the price is so volatile. I mean, to tank $15 in one day is devastating for a company. And here's the thing. That's why they've got inventory right now. That's why you're seeing inventory, because of what they're charging. Half ounce of silver, $62 essentially. Think about that for a minute. Technically, it's closer to 63 when you ain't buying 500 of them, which the average stacker is not buying that many. They're buying, but let's just say you're looking at the low number. You're still talking $122 on average. And yes, they got to pay to ship it to you. And now with the price as high as it is, there's a lot of other fees. There's a lot of insurance issues. There's a lot of people not buying right now. I'm not buying right now, and there's stuff that I really do need for my sets that I will not pay these prices. I'm missing the certified 2026, I think, Eagle. I'm missing my Legendary Warriors, some of them. But the price is just going up so fast that I don't want to part with the money for that. Excuse me. I yawn a lot in my videos because I watch it I do these videos so late because I'm so busy lately in the day taking care of stuff. That's why I can't wait till today so I get to sleep in all day. Hopefully I'll be able to get caught up. Put a sign on the dealer's door to call me if they want to sell. Oh, there you go. That's funny. Basically that's a person that said that. Just stick it up there so when someone... And maybe, I can tell you the dealer might get mad if someone did that, but someone says, same at my local coin shop except selling $10 over spot. Where do you think they get $10 over spot? They get it from these sites that are asking $10 over spot. So it's not crazy when you see these things if you really understand what's going on. Let's get caught up here, down here. We're simply experiencing the flushing out of weak hands right now. It will take a little time. Hold the line and don't sell under spot. And that's my thoughts. I'm not going to sell my silver under spot. Have I given up silver for spot? I'm just adjusting my seat. Have I given up silver for spot? Of course. You get a friend that maybe he wants to pick up a couple ounces, and you get a good deal at spot, and then you pass that on to someone else at spot. It happens. So who knows? I won't sell under spot, though. I can guarantee you that. Wait until stockpiles run dry. Then they will be charging $10 plus. But at least you'll be getting your spot price. Here's the thing. When stockpiles run dry, that's when they're going to have to change some of their stuff. In the meantime, you got to look at it, too, from the refinery's position. It takes time to refine silver. It takes time to refine it down. It takes time to process it. It takes time for them to get paid. And so, they don't want to, why buy right now only to hold it while they're waiting to process it? It doesn't make sense to buy right now if you're just going to hold it. If it takes 2-3 weeks to process it, a lot can happen in a couple weeks. I was talking to someone the other day about pawn shops, and he said, pawn shops, they got to keep their inventory. When they buy something off you, they got to keep it for 30 days before they can sell it. Well, think about that. 30 days, a lot can happen to the price of precious metals in 30 days. We could see a drastic drop. We could see a drastic climb. A lot can happen. And here's the thing. While all this is happening, the supplies are starting to dry up. It seems strange that so many dealers require huge orders with long delays, but they don't need any silver to fulfill the orders. Something is broken. So here's the thing. They do need silver because most dealers, when they buy, they don't, they've got to pay on top of that. It takes time to get it. They've got to pay a certain amount of premiums. I see some dealers. What were some of the deals? Let's see if we can find the buyback price. I don't know if, I wonder if they do that. Let's just take a look. I know Provident used to put it on all of their stuff, their buyback. Like if you're selling to them, what would it cost? Let's see if they actually do this. I don't know. I haven't looked in a while. I don't see it. Sell to us. Let's see here. Let's see. Oh, shoot. Sell bullion coins and collectible items directly to APMEX with fast payments and buyback processes. Lock in your price online. Ship using APMEX logistics and will confirm your item on arrival and pay promptly. Due to record volume, though, we currently have a $20,000 minimum on buyback orders. So unless you got $20,000, it would appear they are not buying unless you're selling $20,000 worth. I would be curious. Maybe I should call them one day and just ask them. $20,000 when you think about it. What does that come off? I mean, what is that? 200 ounces when you think about it? 200 ounces at $100 an ounce. There's your $20,000. So we'll see how that plays out. That's kind of crazy when you think about it, though. 20,000. A lot of people ain't got that much silver just kicking around to sell. Scrolling down through, let's see here. Refineries are broken. I'm pretty sure Elemental is still offering $15 below spot. Most places are sitting on a pile they can't sell to refineries for a reasonable price. And the average Joe isn't coming in and dropping $10,000 to keep in cash in the draw for more buys. I would agree with that 100%. But I don't think they're offering 15 back. I think when I heard last, they were offering about 7 back. But then recently in last week's update, and this wasn't, was this Elemental? It might have been Elemental actually. In last week's update, they announced that they're not saying what their buy price is. They're not posting it online because it is changing every day right now. See, before you could actually look at their buy charts and you could see what the popular item is. Whatever the most popular item is, you could actually ask people if they have any of them to sell and they could bring them in. They could do a swap. I knew someone that was swapping kilo bars for singles. Why? Because the refineries were paying more money for the kilo bars, and so he was willing to do that. It didn't matter to him. He sent in the silver. Nobody really made any money. It's like saying, hey, I want 4 quarters for $1. So who knows? We'll see how that plays out. I disagree. An average Joe is exactly who came in while I was there, and he wanted to drop $10,000 to $15,000 on silver, but because generics were listed $4 over spot, he left. He was expecting to buy at spot. Here's the thing. I mean, it's tough to find spot price deals to a certain point. You can. There are spot price deals out there. That's why I'm convinced a lot of these bullion companies are not going to survive. You will start seeing companies, it'll be crazy because some of these companies during the highest price times are not going to survive it. So we'll see what happens. $4 over spot I don't think is crazy, but if someone's got $10,000, $15,000, Personally, I would think that dealer could have given a little bit more of a deep break because he was buying so many. Tell them you will take $50 an ounce and the sign will come down real quick. Yeah, but here's the thing. Coin shops don't want to offer $50. They don't want to insult you. So the nice ones are putting the sign up. It's easier to just say we're not buying right now than insult you. I mean, who wants to be the bad guy? So those signs don't bother me at all. I'm still buying constitutional, sterling, and Canadian when I find it substantially below spot price. The market liquidity will stabilize, and then I will have 20% head start. That's actually the key right there. That comment is exactly the way I'm looking at it. I am trying to pick up the deals. And when the market does correct, I will have more silver, hopefully. And I don't mind waiting. I don't mind only buying the deals. There are deals floating around out there. If you have the cash to buy, you'll be all right. But here's the thing. How much cash when you think about it? The prices are high right now. I mean, even at 110, that's a lot of money for silver. I can't see myself paying 110. I did pay 100 when we got up to 118 and then plunged all the way down to $100. Yeah, I picked up some stuff that day. But I looked at it as a steal at that point. And now look at it. If you can pick something up for $100 or less, you're probably doing pretty well in my opinion, but we'll see. I mean, who knows? I don't have a crystal ball. This is not financial advice. I'm just telling you guys my opinion on the way I look at stuff. Of course, they are selling. That's how they get their money to buy. So sometimes they buy and then they have to sell. But if they don't have someone coming in buying, then they don't have anybody to sell, and they've already spent their money and they've got to wait. I'll wait until Tesla and Samsung start buying, the only shiny left. And yeah, it is disappearing. A lot of stuff is going to India, China, Russia, a lot of these places. Sure, I'm sure China and India will buy it all, and they will, in my opinion. Let's see, 1,000%, that is their plan. It's right there in front of us. If it means putting small guys out of business across the U.S., that's sad. Plus, shutting refineries, so be it. No different than UPS or Amazon laying off thousands of Americans. They are now getting a taste of what is coming, what us simple folk live with at the grocery store on a daily basis. Inflation is getting word. Not saying I agree with it, someone said. Just making a point. If American businesses went under for a change instead of playing in the private markets, crooked money arenas like before the global financial collapse of 2008, we might know what we're dealing with. Now, billionaires, liars, cheats, sums up the economy in my humble opinion. Yeah. Here's the thing. We're going to see more money flowing into gold and silver. We're seeing them take huge short positions. We're seeing a lot of issues. We're seeing a lot of cash flow problems right now. It makes sense what is going on. Your big refineries, they don't have tons of money either. I mean, you got to understand how much money is moving in and out of these refineries every day. And then you start to understand we're not playing anymore with $15, $20, $30 silver. Now, every ounce is over $100. It can eat through money real quick. And that's why some of y'all have stacks that are worth a lot of money now. It's the refinery's physical bottleneck, but also a failure of the financing. Their banks are pulling in their credit lines they used to pay out. This happened in 2008 temporarily with many businesses relying on commercial paper markets. It is now much more costly to hedge, and that is reverberating industry-wide. Cash flow issues, somebody said. There's an easy solution to the problem. Buy up all the silver at your local coin shop. That would be a good solution. If you bought the silver at your local coin shop, then they would have to buy that back off someone else. And here's the thing. I just showed you what one online bullion company is charging. And if you're looking at that, you understand that $4 premium is not crazy. I mean, for $4 premium, I don't want buffaloes, though. I'll be honest. I'm a little spoiled. I want something good. Maybe not an eagle, but at least like a Philharmonic or at least something decent. Why don't you sell via consignment? No risk to them, and they can sell without delays. Would you trust your metal in someone else's hands? That's actually a really good point. I think I would. If it's someone that I've already built up a relationship with, a coin shop. We've talked about building up relationships with your coin shops. And that way, when the time comes, they'll be able to pay you the most money. If a local coin shop that I knew and trusted said, hey, how would you feel about giving me 50 ounces of silver? I'll sell it for you at this price, and anything over I get to keep. I might go for that, but it all depends what price they would tell me. Personally, I wouldn't sell my silver, like I said, below spot. If I'm not at least getting spot for it, I don't want it. And here's the thing, too. You have to put in some kind of a requirement. Like if the price falls by $20 in one day, no, I'm not selling. I wouldn't sell. It's just something you've got to understand. Let's see here. I've been calling around my local coin shops just to see if they're even buying. I'm not selling, but I'm interested. What have they said? I can't even believe he didn't. He should have wrote that ahead of time. That would have been, because that's an obvious question. What did they say? Either not buying, and if they are, they're paying $10 plus under spot, and not really respecting premiums. I actually end up having a good conversation with some of these dudes. So here's the thing. I've talked about selling. If I was selling, I would just post it on Facebook. And if someone wants it, they can message me. That's the price. I would just make my article that says, I'm selling 10 ounces at this price. Take it or leave it. Don't send offers. Either you pay it or you don't. Either way. From what I'm understanding, the system is flooded with people selling and not enough buying to even it out. And so now products is flooding on one end and trickling on the other. The refineries and local coin shops are underwater, but I could be wrong. You should disclose your location. Nice try, Fed. You should disclose location of shops around me are buying. Yeah, I would agree. If you're going to say that the shops around you are buying and they're paying spot, you're not saying your location. You're just saying, hey, this shop in Kissimmee, Florida, named such and such, says they're buying right now. And then anybody can call that shop, no matter where you are, and see if they're buying. I don't think you're really giving your location. I asked around El Paso, somebody said, and they were paying $10 back. Just curious as to what state they are not buying. Not a Fed trying to end it. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. I mean, people are curious. If you say people are buying, you say they're not buying, yeah, there's nothing wrong with saying where the coin shop is. In fact, I would put more trust in someone that's willing to say the name of the coin shop or whatever, because what I'm seeing, People are buying. The coin shops, the we buy gold, we buy silver shops, they're buying. But yeah, I would agree they're paying about $10 back, maybe $5, $6 back. Um, that's about, 6, 7%. If it's $10 back, it's about 9% back right now. But we're seeing big drops. We're seeing big moves, a lot of volatility. Who knows? Some stuff they're paying even lower. I'll give you an example. Nobody wants war nickels. Nobody wants that trash. Nobody wants 40%. Who's gonna buy a 40% silver half dollar for spot price? Nobody. I get offer them on a regular basis 20, 30% under spot, and I don't want them. I don't want 40s. I don't want 35s anymore. I'll take 90 if it's a good deal, but a good deal means I'd like to get them at 15% back, maybe 20% back. I'm kind of afraid to say that online because all of a sudden I may get flooded with emails. Hey, you want to give me 15% back? But I mean, I watch, and I'm watching what's going on. And here's the thing: we just recently hit $100. That's what people don't understand. It wasn't even a week ago we hit $100. Now we're at 110. Naturally, when we hit these new barriers, these new records, people flood the market with selling. That does eventually catch up. Those refineries are refining everything they're taking in as fast as they can. So those refineries will get caught up. And when they do get caught up and they start buying again from these we buy gold, we buy silver, or these coin shops, you got to understand how quick the tide will change. You have an opportunity right now to pick stuff up. Once that inventory dries up or gets bought up, we could see it go even higher again. So think about that. Let's see. My guy stopped by today, but he is selling way back of spot. Minus $9 under spot. Only gold was pre-33 common date stuff, and he was at spot with that. Now, I understand gold. Someone said Texas is the same, and that's pretty much what I'm hearing. A lot of silver, a lot of gold right now, comfortably selling for 1 or 2% under spot. A small amount, what's 50 to $100 back a spot, even maybe. Silver, though, is a lot of silver that's hitting the market. So who knows? We'll see how that plays out. Let me take a look at something real quick. Okay, nice. 47 minutes. And I'm at the bottom of that. So that's pretty much going to end that conversation. Let me just scroll through, just see if there's anything else that came up interesting. This side, I didn't put any stock in this because so here's the thing. Someone told me one day Reddit has a lot of fake misinformation and stuff. And to a certain point, anytime I really talk about something, it's got to be something that I either understand or I'm following or I verify. This I haven't been able to verify. I've looked around for this. Huge breaking news. Major government mint is shutting down silver sales in the next 24 hours. We are not at liberty to disclose the mint by request, as it has not yet been publicly disclosed. But major supplier side shock is about to hit the silver market. That sounds like BS to me. I say BS to me because I have not been able to confirm anything on that. And here's the thing. In 18 hours today, for you guys watching this video, if you're watching this video, you're talking today sometime, you would hear about this in the news. And if that gets announced, that would have a big hit on what's going on. It's possible it's in another country, but who knows? So we'll see what happens. They do have silver trade, and they have the blue check mark. I don't know if I put a whole lot of stock in that all the way either, but Shanghai price in dollars, 131. Inching up even higher, 130. Let's see. And all fiat currencies. Peter Schiff. Don't buy the collapse in Bitcoin. Coin. Just kidding. I know that upsets some people, but oh well. Sell before it goes much, much lower. Yeah, gold has been doing very well. I like Peter Schiff, so. Let's see, scrolling down. We already talked about Jim Cramer yesterday. I think silver is way overvalued. What does he know? He's been wrong majority of the time. The fact that he said sell your silver just makes me want to go out and buy as much more as I can get. A whole new generation paying attention to metals. There are a lot of people coming out of the woodwork and looking at metals and trying to pick up some here and there where they can. Someone said they ain't even trying to hide it anymore. Look at this drop right here. Yeah, this was sickening, seeing that flush down real quick. But it is what it is. CoinShop not buying. 117. Oh. Back from the grave to 117. And now they're beating it down again. So, yep, that's exactly what we seen yesterday. Boom. And it's gone. We saw that big run up, and then we saw it beat down, and then we saw it climb up again. Someone posted the 121 balloons. The silver short squeeze, only 14% of futures are covered. Bail in on crypto. I don't know. Who knows? We'll see. Copper is the next silver. I've said that time and time again. I think copper will eventually start climbing up. Let's see. Silly bankers dump paper. Thanks for the discount. Yep. Let's see. Once again, a few years of global silver production just dumped on the market in seconds. Yeah, we're going to keep seeing that possibly, but that can't go on forever. I'm not worried about it. They can play their little games. When we seen that beat down, the higher high came up even higher, and the low came in higher as well. So we're seeing higher highs and higher lows. Silver is going to 1,000. I'm not going to necessarily say that, but we'll see. Do I think we could go there? I mean, anything's possible, but I don't think it's going to be overnight. So it's driving Bitcoiners crazy that they chose the wrong asset when the dollar's finally cracking. The gold market size 35 trillion. Bitcoin market 1.7 trillion. Yep. Chinese New Year is Tempting Dream. Not sure what that means. Let's see. Someone said, who is this guy? Asian guy. PSYOP, someone said. Harmless hype. Either way, I'm not worried about. I had someone tell me they don't like AI videos. Someone runs that AI. They're looking for clicks. To a certain point, I mean, the information, some of it checks out, some of it doesn't. So you have to understand. You have to do a little of your own homework when watching any video. Bitcoin has gone full-blown head and shoulders. Silver to the moon. Ooh, that's definitely dipping right now. I wonder if it won't go even lower. Jim Cramer. I'm a huge gold bug, but I'm not a silver one. Oh well. With that being said, I think we're gonna wrap up there. Good video, I think. We got a lot of good information in. I'm going to keep stacking. It's not financial advice. Some of y'all, you can keep stacking. You can slow down. You can stop. You can sell. It doesn't matter to me. I'm definitely not selling my position. However, if I find the right deal, someone might ask me, what is classified as the right deal? The right deal for me right now is $100 an ounce, and I'm liking it. That means if silver pulls back, obviously I know if silver goes back up to 122, the likelihood is you're not going to find $100 silver. However, I mean, maybe we see a short-term dip. I think we said the next delivery date was February 2nd, I think. When is the next COMEX bullion delivery date? I think it's going to say February 2nd. I'm sorry, it says this one says February 27th. February 26th is a major delivery month for gold. Ooh, I didn't say silver. That might be why. When is the next COMEX silver delivery date? Oh, January. The next active COMEX silver futures delivery period begins on February 2nd. So there's a chance we could see a good dip coming on February 2nd. Who knows? It's possible we don't see much more of a dip. We just went down $10. But personally, I would worry with the first notices coming in on the 30th. Hey, what a coincidence. Today's the 30th. And we just saw a $10 drop. Who knows if we won't see another big drop for some deliveries. But here's the thing. Come the first week of next month, I think we will be on fire again. So we'll see. Subsequently, active delivery months for COMEX silver follows in March. So we'll see what happens. Like I said, silver is looking good in my personal opinion. And with that being said, we're going to wrap up here. Let's see where we're at right now before we end it. I think it said 110.85. Yep. With that being said, be sure to check out some of these other great videos and hit that like, comment, subscribe. I will read all of my Friday morning comments on Saturday morning in the video. So definitely consider leaving a comment on this video. I should have started with that. That way I got plenty of comments to talk about that. Every Friday's comment, usually Friday night, I will make that video and read all the Friday morning comments and answer them and post that up on Saturday morning. So thank you all for watching, commenting. Hit that subscribe button, leave a comment, thumbs up, subscribe. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you again next time on T-Square Talk. Take care, everybody. Have a great one. Bye-bye.